Good morning, everyone. Spider-Man! Okay, so if you saw my short last night, you probably know I was going to be talking about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Before I do, let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. There was actually a meeting yesterday I really kind of wasn't looking forward to, but that really was because I thought it was going to involve something else, when really it didn't. So my low is I got worried over nothing. It happens. My high was after the meeting, I introduced my parents to a place called the M&M's Hots in Elmira. It's got really good hot dogs. I actually went after I marched in that holiday parade back in November, but I ordered something called the Dutch Burger, which is essentially a ham and cheese, a grilled ham and cheese sandwich with all the stuff they put on their Texas Hots and a red pepper relish. So it's got like onions and mustard and meat sauce. And it was really good, but as soon as I posted it, everybody got annoyed, telling me that I should have got the Texas Hots. Well, I got the Texas Hots last night, and yeah, they're pretty darn great. Probably the best hot dogs I've ever had, actually. So, yeah, I righted the wrong. And my act of kindness, I held the door with some people, as well as threw something out for someone. So, yeah, it was a pretty productive day. I gotta say though, this week's been feeling kind of long. Like, for being the last Thursday, like we're only at the last Thursday in January, but this week's felt really long. Thankfully, it is almost over. And things have been getting, things are picking up a little bit, which is nice. But got this little guy out right here, so I got to talk about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So if you don't know, the good folks over at Disney Plus released a new show called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And I first saw the trailer for this, and I knew I had to do a short about it, which I did. And yesterday, the first 2 episodes aired on Disney Plus, which I have seen. And I mean, from the minute I saw the animation style and what it was going to be like, I mean, I fell in love instantly before I even saw the show. Because if you see the trailer, it's very evocative of the Spider-Man comics from like the 1950s and 60s, but they modernize it a little bit. They have smartphones in this universe. People use Venmo. So it's definitely a few modern wrinkles here and there. But they do it in a way that works for me. And this show, 2 episodes in, this show already does a great job of subverting expectations. For example, and as well as they take a few liberties on some things as well. Like, if you don't know the origin of Spider-Man, Peter gets bitten by a radioactive spider in a lab. That doesn't happen in this universe. See, what happens is it's Peter's first day of high school at a place called Midtown High. He really wants to do robotics when he gets older. And, Midtown High is a great place to learn about that stuff. Literally, when he gets there on his first day, an interdimensional portal opens, and a creature that I think It's supposed to be covered by a Venom symbiote, but I forget. But they'll probably get into more what that is later. And starts attacking people. Eventually, Doctor Strange arrives to fight it off. In the midst of all of that going on, stay with me. Said radioactive spider, because the portal is coming from like the sky, and the radioactive spider is falling through that portal from the sky via, it's dangling from its web. So when Doctor Strange and the monster go away, the portal closes, and thus cutting off the web that the spider was coming down from. And that spider falls on Peter, and that's how Peter got bit by the spider. Again, definitely a liberty in terms of his origin, but to me it doesn't bother me because, listen, as long as Peter got bit by a radioactive spider, that's all we care about. And they just fast forward a few months later, and Peter's already gotten used to his new spider powers. He's already developed a suit, which I'm actually kind of glad they didn't do it this way, because so many Spider-Man origin stories have involved like getting bit by the spider and going through like the initial freak out, like I got bit by a spider and now all these crazy things are happening, like I can stick to walls, I have the strength of a spider. Spiders are actually very strong. I mean, we as humans don't notice that because we're much bigger and proportionally stronger than a spider. But spiders are actually very strong. If you equate that to like a human, then it's no wonder that, Peter can, stop a moving truck from hitting a bus. Or can jump really high. That's what spiders can do. Again, spiders are strong for their size. If you equate that to a human, you're able to do incredible feats of strength and agility. And they skip all that, which again is a good thing. They get right into the meat and potatoes of like how this world works. And there's like no frills, no fuss, but they do this in a smart way. I love that. They also took liberties, like there's no Gwen Stacy, there's no Mary Jane Watson. Right now, Peter's love interest is straight up his old babysitter named Pearl. Actually, this entire cast is really likable. Like Peter's first friend, Nico, that he meets when he first gets to Midtown High, she's really cool. Aunt May is Aunt May, played by the great Carrie Walgren. She's awesome. Actually, let me get my notes out. I need to make sure I do the cast justice. Okay, let's see. Okay, Hudson Thames, that's who it is. Hudson Thames is Peter Parker / Spider-Man, and he sells it. I mean, I can see some people complain that he's just trying to do a straight up impression of Tom Holland, which has its ups and downs. Personally, I think he's trying. Personally, to me, he sounds like a combination of like, you know what he sounds like? He sounds like Ben Schwartz doing Tom Holland. But it works. It just works. I mean this in the best possible way. And Grace Song is Nico Minero, obviously Peter's best friend. I said earlier that that this show subverts a lot of expectations. One thing the show took a liberty on is when Peter Parker is in high school, he gets bullied, usually by a character named Flash Thompson. So far, there is no Flash Thompson. Instead, his love interest that I mentioned, Pearl, is dating a guy named Lonnie Lincoln. Lonnie, Lonnie, who is the captain of, the Rockford football team. Oh, actually, I should say Rockford T. Bales High School. That's where Peter goes to. But I think it's like Midtown High. It said Midtown High on the banner for the school in the show, so that's why it was called Midtown High. Anyway, and it'd be easy for like, oh no, there's a love triangle. You know, Peter likes Pearl, Pearl's dating Lonnie. You know, you're probably gonna think Lonnie antagonizes Peter. No, far from it. In fact, you know, Lonnie has a lot of respect for Peter. And there's like literally one scene I love this. Because again, Lonnie's captain of the football team. And, you know, they're doing this ceremony where they're like kissing and rubbing the championship trophy. And Lonnie's like, hey Peter, what are you doing? Oh, nothing, getting ready for my internship. And then, wait, you got an internship? Hey, you struck the trophy. He's actually including Peter in a lot of stuff. Like being his friend. That's like, I don't think anyone was expecting to see that, but I'm glad they sort of veered away from the, you know, dumb jock stereotype. But they don't do that here. They legit make Lonnie a very likable person. And honestly, again, this whole cast is so likable. Not to mention, on Peter's first day at the Oscorp, the Oscorp scientist, Bentley Woodman, played by one of my all-time favorite comedians, Paul F. Tompkins. He's really good in this. Yeah, man, this cast is really good. And they also took liberties with the person who's eventually going to be the Lizard. In the comics and in some of the old shows, it's usually Dr. Kurt Connors who becomes the Lizard in an effort to use the regeneration of a lizard to grow back his arm, much like a lizard grows back a tail. They haven't really dived into that much to that yet, other than introducing Dr. Connors. Only in this universe, her name is Carla Connors. Again, she's still missing the right arm. And again, alternate gender swap variant of Kurt Connors, who, yeah, but she's likable. This whole cast is so likable. Combine that with the animation. Oh, almost dropped my computer mouse. Combine that with how good the animation is. Like, you think it kind of looks like something out of a video game, but in the best possible way, too. And the action sequences are actually really good. I mentioned Peter stopping a truck from hitting a bus. That scene was great. He was fighting a pyromaniac in episode 2, which that was a great fight scene. There's when Peter saves Harry, who is obviously Harry Osborn, which, you know, that fight scene was in the trailer, and it's still good. Finally, the biggest subversion of expectations I saw was at the very end of the second episode. They only released the first 2 episodes right now, and they're going to release episodes every Wednesday. And at the very end, because Peter's working at Oscorp, and he hears about the arson attack I just mentioned a second ago. And, you know, he thinks he, you know, left Oscorp without having anyone knowing that he transformed into Spider-Man. Not transformed, you know, put the Spider-Man costume on. But one of Oscorp's cameras got him, and Norman Osborn's like, so, you're Spider-Man. I mean, if you see the trailer, you know where this is going to go. But it answers, like, how did Norman Osborn know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man? Because if you don't know, Norman Osborn eventually becomes the Green Goblin. Obviously Spider-Man's greatest arch enemy. And now you know how he figures it out. Usually, in the comics, Norman Osborn just pieces things together. Here they actually like show and, well, you're supposed to do show, not tell. Here they do show and tell, which is the best of both things. Because, again, explanations are good for sure. But if you can show the explanation and while telling it, that's even better. altogether, I am really digging this show. Like, I like this show, man. Like, the cast is likable. Hudson Thames really is selling as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man to me. Again, the cast is great. The animation style is fun. The action sequences are really living up to the hype. I mean, even the times where Peter is just slinging web. You know, like, just those sorts of action sequences really appeal to me. And also, I couldn't end this without talking about, hold on. Let me make sure I do this next part right. Where is it? Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Where is it? Basically, I was going to talk about the theme song, but I can't. Hold on. I have no idea. Okay, so the theme song for this show is Neighbor Like Me by the Math Club featuring Relay and Mello. And it's one of the best theme songs I've heard in a while. I love listening to it because they incorporate the Spider-Man, and like, it's just so catchy. Like, this show is just so good, and like, honestly, right now, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you should be happy, because I'd say since No Way Home came out, it's been actually no, Spider-Verse. Since Spider-Verse came out, Into the Spider-Verse came out, we're living in good times if you're a Spider-Man fan. Between the Spider-Verse movies, Spider-Man No Way Home, and now this show, if you're a Spider-Man fan and you're not satisfied, I don't know how to help you. Because this show is awesome. And I can't wait to see more. I hope you like this video. If you'd like to subscribe to the YouTube channel, on social media. As always, I'm very humble this video. For all of you guys watching Joe Vanilla, we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Oh, happy Thursday, everyone. And remember, if you guys want to talk to me, we can lend the emoji back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby. Look out, he is Spider-Man. Ooh, Spider-Man.